The next chapter is about to begin. Join us live every Tuesday and Thursday for brand new episodes of the American Contractor Show. Our mission is to bring you the latest tools, innovations, and knowledge to help you become the most informed contractor in your market. Knowledge is the ultimate power, and we are connecting you with the most knowledgeable minds in our industry. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. American Contractors, I hope you're ready. This one's for you.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I, as a contractor, appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
Hello, Hell Stalkers. Here we are today. It's Saturday, which means, and we're doing the live forecast, so that means we've got some active weather coming. I see somebody asking about Oklahoma. We're not going to get a lot in Oklahoma, I don't think, but big shout out to our sponsors. I want to thank the C3 Group, the American Contractors Show, Balance Claims, and don't forget Merlin Law Group, right? So I want to thank those guys for sponsoring this, allowing us to have the resources that we have to put some of this stuff together. You can see, obviously, the new forecast graphics are pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and jump on in. What are the headlines for today? Well, you know, we had a break yesterday, but we got more big-time storms likely today. So March came in pretty quiet like a lamb, but it's going out like a lion. We've had a lot of activity, a lot of tornadoes, a lot of hail, a lot of wind, and that looks to continue as we go through the afternoon today. Tomorrow, I think there will be some hail, but I think wind will be the primary for tomorrow's forecast. We're going to take a look at that, too, as we get into everything. And then don't forget the storm conference. Anybody going? If you're going, post in the comments. Let us know that you're going to be there. We've got a big-time booth setting up there. Hope you come down and see the new Hellstalker 2. That's our new 2020 Raptor that we're going to have on the show floor with a lot of cool stuff to check out with that truck. So I want to make sure that you jump down there and take a look at that. Now, how did everything go with storms the last couple of days? Well, here we go. Here's yesterday. Again, yesterday we talked about having a break. And sorry about the audio there, guys. See if we can move it up and see if that'll help you guys out there a little bit. May need to get a new cord, I think, on this mic. But anyway, so forecast or numbers for yesterday, we did have one tornado up in Vermont. We had some hail across Kansas and Tennessee. And we had a cluster of high winds across the northeast, and that was where everything was going up across that part of the country. Now, since January 1, we've had 162 tornadoes, 431 reports of large hail, and we've also had 534 reports of high winds. These numbers going up drastically. About a week and a half ago, our large hail number was only around 200, so that has doubled in about a week. So numbers going up drastically across that and across the board. So let's go ahead and jump on in here. Win the Storm Conference. Again, if you're coming down, we'd love to see you down in New Orleans, March 31st through April 2nd at the New Orleans Convention Center. I'm going to be talking specifically about some new tech that we're working on when it comes to damaging hail versus non-damaging hail. So I think you're going to like that. Definitely want to see you in my breakout session if you're going to be there as well. So let's take a look. Had a very active morning across the country. Check this out. Look at all the hail reports this morning. Those were not in those numbers that I just showed you. So talk about an active start to the year. Yes, and an active start to the day. We're having it right now. Look at this. So around the Nashville area this morning, around 5 o'clock this morning, we had some big-time thunderstorms. Those continued all across the Knoxville area up into the Appalachian Mountains. Yeah, they were active for sure with some hail. Nothing hit anything significant, but it was there. We had the activity there. What are we thinking for today? Again, I said big hail today, and yeah, we're going to go with it. Tennis ball likely today, even probably some baseball size hail today with some of the bigger thunderstorms that happen. So what do we got going on? What's the setup? Well, we've got rich tropical moisture coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. It is streaming to the north. You can see it's already made it up to the Mississippi River, where basically the Ohio River connects to the Mississippi. That is surging all the way up into St. Louis. Dallas, you're already up to 60-degree dew points. Oklahoma City, the moisture's not going to quite make it there. That's why we're not expecting severe weather. But the richest of the moisture right in this corridor, and that's where we think the worst of the storms are going to be at today. And then that's going to continue tomorrow as we go into the northeast. So, or not the northeast, the southeast. So big time storms there. So future radar, here's what we got. Look at this. This is what we're talking about here. So you can see the storms from this morning shift off to the east. But check out all these little individual cells here, right? Back here by Little Rock. We even have some in northwest Arkansas. Look at these all down here across the north part, or the northern part of Louisiana, southern part of Arkansas. This activity is what we're going to be watching for. These singular cells, that's what concerns us the most when it comes to potential for tornadoes, but also potential for some very, very large hail with some of these. Again, up to the size of baseballs. As we go through the afternoon. And we're not talking about just here, okay? So again, we talked about Dallas in our text. You can see storms not as widespread, but conditions are very favorable for some large hail in Dallas, and there are going to be thunderstorms that are going to fire. They look small, but with the instability that's in place, it's not going to take much to get large hail. Again, the tough part is really going to be to get storms to develop. Same thing up here in St. Louis. We're going to have the cold front going to come through. Models continue to show potential for large hail all the way up as far north as St. Louis. And you can see these storms actually extend all the way into North Carolina. Yeah, we're going to talk about hail in North Carolina even that far to the east. So big time weather going on, just kind of keeps going on across the rest of the country. There you go, see everything kind of squalls out as we go through the evening hours. And that's why we think tomorrow is going to be more of a wind threat than a hail threat. So let's dive on in. A lot of you guys in here watching from Dallas. What are we expecting in Dallas? Well, again, tonight from about 5 to 10 p.m., that's the main threat zone. The hail size, if we get hail, could definitely be long. Could definitely be big, right? 2.5 inch. Lock that in. I think if we get big storms in Dallas, we could have some big hail. But if we go 1 inch of hail or larger, what are the chances of it? The chances are fairly low, okay? So the size is there, right? So the instability, the conditions are there to make really large hail in Dallas. The ability to make those thunderstorms actually go is not there. So that's why we're going high chance for very large hail, but low chances of it actually occurring, okay? So a difference, right? If we get storms, it'll be big, but the chances of those storms actually rooting down to the boundary and doing what they need to do is fairly low. So that's the expectations for Dallas. Let's look at some of the most impactful cities today. Again, Dallas, we go with kind of that low to moderate. Little Rock, we've got you on a low chance for today. Shreveport, I think you're one of our Shreveport Texarkana, kind of in that area. We've got you on a moderate to high. So again, those isolated supercells, if one of those rolls through town, look out. St. Louis, kind of in that same category as Dallas. Conditions are going to be favorable for some large hail in St. Louis. Storms may be more isolated at the start, and then they quickly go into a line as they're going to be on the cold front in St. Louis. So again, we have that small window of time in St. Louis. If the storms can flip and actually form on top of St. Louis, we could see hail. But if they go into more of a linear structure, or they will go into a linear structure, but if they form to the west of St. Louis, expect that line to form. Memphis, storms stay isolated all afternoon long. Big hail definitely possible in Memphis. And Nashville, I'm going with the low. Probably should go low to moderate on Nashville. We'll go low to moderate on Nashville right now with the way things look. I think the worst of the storms might be just to your south in Nashville. And that's just because of the way that the storms have been today. You've had a lot of storms early on in the morning. So we're going to have to watch those closely, though, to see exactly how things pan out. So, again, we'll be watching this stuff all day. And if anything does come up, we'll definitely go live. So here's a look at the forecast. You kind of saw the individual cities. Here's how it looks. So again, we talked about storms expanding all the way out into North Carolina. Yes, I do think hail size probably stays down a little bit in North Carolina, but right here from northeast Georgia or northwest Georgia all the way back through the southern half of Tennessee, again, up the cold front, which will be right up here. Again, I think the biggest chance for large hail on the cold front is actually going to be in St. Louis. But then that will extend to the south, and we'll have this boundary that will drape across and reconnect to the cold front back across Texas. So again, Texas, the chance of storms fairly isolated. So let's go ahead and jump on in here. We'll take a look at it. So big hail, yes, is possible, but the chance of the big hail happening is low in Dallas. But as we come over here to Shreveport, the chance is much higher, so we list them at a higher location. As we bounce off to the northeast, again, the chance of hail is fairly low, but if we can get a storm to produce hail in St. Louis, it could produce up to golf ball size hail. Same thing, Memphis, bigger chance of hail and also bigger hail, so we could see up to tennis ball size hail in Memphis. And then Nashville, again, somewhere now, if this boundary can lift just a little bit further to the north, we can get that warm, unstable air into Nashville. We might be able to flip the color on ours from a green to maybe a yellow or even a red if that can happen. And we'll also up the hail size. So it's very, very close in Nashville, but Franklin, some of those areas just to the south of Nashville, I think they have a higher likelihood of seeing large and potentially damaging hail. All right. That's for today. Now, what do we got tomorrow? So as you can see, tomorrow, again, the last model run showed the same thing. This line of thunderstorms that will basically fire up here. Again, we like to see the more isolated structure. Now, this will be determined based off of what happens tonight. So if things don't look the same tonight as what we're forecasting, then we're going to have to watch that closely. But right through here, that's basically the zone. I think a high wind threat will be our biggest threat with these thunderstorms. As we go through the afternoon and evening hours. Again, this is about noon tomorrow. You can see we've already got the line rolling through. I'm sure folks in Alabama probably could use a break, had a lot of tornadoes, a lot of hail, a lot of high wind. Again, this threat potentially not quite as high as what they've had in recent storm systems, which, again, probably not a bad thing for those folks. Same thing, Newman, Georgia, bad weather, bad tornado yesterday. And so hopefully things can kind of stay a little calmer. But as we head up to the north, and as we go through the afternoon hours, these isolated cells potentially could develop, and those are a little bit more concerning when it comes to large hail, even potentials for tornadoes. Again, when we get this isolated structure with these storms, they can get this hook and this rotation. That rotation is actually what contributes to the large hail that you get with these thunderstorms. So we're going to watch these closely as we go through tomorrow afternoon. You can see 4:30 in the afternoon, rocking and rolling from basically Raleigh, potentially back to Charlotte, and then really all the way up towards Richmond. Could have some big-time thunderstorms. Here's a look at what the risk area looks like. You can see the storms basically shift off the coast. As we get to about 10 p.m. at night, we should see the weather calm down, and that should be the end of it. So what does our risk look like? Our risk area, here's what we've got going. We hone it in here. Again, the hail threat, not too great in the south-south, the deep southeast. Again, mainly quarter-size hail probably. With the larger storms there, but bigger hail is possible up across North Carolina and Virginia. That seems to be the area that we want to focus in on the most. So again, risk area very low for Atlanta and Jacksonville. Hail size not very large. Probably won't even see much hail other than peas. Could see some high wind though with some of the longer, stronger line segments. Same thing, Washington D.C. You're going to be up on the northern end of this, so we'll have to watch that closely. But again, our pick city for Sunday is going to be Raleigh, North Carolina. I think that's the area that we'll have to watch the closest for potential for tornadoes and especially for large hail. So we'll watch that very, very closely as we go through the afternoon. So we want to thank you guys for watching today. Again, as always, if you don't follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're available on all of those platforms. Very, very easy for you to get a hold of us. You can also contact us, super easy, 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or just go to our website at hailtrace.com. Very easy for you to get a hold of us in any of those ways. So we want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the forecast today. We'll continue to watch it. If storms get crazy this afternoon, we'll make sure to go live and cover those, give you the latest to what's going on around the country with the severe weather today. Take care.